This is Murphy Daily. You are coming and joining us. I am in Southern California. It is warm and sunny, and I'm a project manager, expert, and an AV veteran. You are joining us, you are listening, and you are seeing us for the AV life.
Hey, welcome to the Hired AV podcast. My name is Joe Way, and I am your host. And
wrong show.
What?
Take two.
No, try it again. Wrong show.
No. Oh, sorry. Hey. Welcome to the AV life, and I am currently a crew member, and I am Joe Way, and then we'll see how long crew member lasts. You are watching and listening to the AV life,
and I am the host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University, from HigherEdAV.com, from HETMA, from the great state of New Jersey, where it is toasty and it's humid and it's all the gross things that we do not like here, but yet we still deal with. And you are watching and listening to the AV life, not HigherEdAV.com. Anyway, how are we all doing tonight?
We are doing fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Joe, you've got a great background there. You know, real life does a great thing there.
You know, life is good. Life is always good.
All right, for those who are, all right. So this is your weekly reminder to go to YouTube and follow the AV life and like and subscribe while you're there. And you can find all the fun things that we are doing here on there. So the great high quality content that people listen in for that they can't see.
You said you said the great state of New Jersey, and that's never been said outside of people from New Jersey.
Well, we're a high density bunch of people, so we there are a lot of us to say it.
Are you calling yourself fat?
It's almost a black hole, Joe. They're so dense.
There's so many of us. That's the thing. There's so many of us in a small amount of space. We are a very densely populated area. So yes.
Maybe the sound is just so in that they don't say great, and it doesn't reach all the way to the West Coast, but it really is truly great and is often spoken of as great.
Exactly. There you go, Murphy. I like that. I'll take it.
No, it doesn't.
So I'm just going to chime in here real quick. We're gonna introduce our guests, and I'm going to explain what's going on here. First off,
stop.
This has already gone off the rails, and we're only 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the show. I don't even know what to say about this.
It's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, Erin Maher-Moran from Johns Hopkins. Erin, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me on. Fantastic as always.
Well, and also the current chair of HETMA, that's Erin there too. That's the purpose of this episode, just to get that out there right now, is we were going to talk about HETMA. And also as one of our guests tonight, Ryan Gray from Yavapai College. And I did a great job of that last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm very proud of myself. So welcome, Ryan. And having Robin last week was awesome, by the way, but that's aside. But yes, welcome, Ryan.
Thank you. Glad to be back. And yes, apologize for shenanigans that have already begun this evening, but glad to be back. And yes, I am thoroughly convinced that there is no segment of the economy that understands how to spell Yavapai in the nation better than the pro AV community. So you know what I'm saying? We are representing well. Thank you.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with you, Ryan. You've ingrained it into us so well over the last couple of years.
Well, I know how to look. I'm a dad, so I have that judgmental kind of dad look. If someone, you know what I'm saying, I can just show disappointment, if I'm just a little,
Yeah, exactly. So, and having said that, myself, Ryan, and Joe all have admin access to the StreamYard site that we use here for the AV Life, and I'm going to keep plugging them until they decide to sponsor us. So we can do all the fun things.
StreamYard is lining up to sponsor the show.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure you haven't checked your email. I'm sure that you've gotten at least 3 or 4 a day.
Oh yeah. Oh man, we're
Waiting.
missing out by by not being a part of the AV life. We need to get on that, or even just hire at av.com, or even
In
HETMA,
general,
we'll
no,
take-
they're yeah,
Mhm.
you know what? I should be checking that. I know they're
Yeah.
like, this is a community we need to sponsor.
Yeah, well, that is true. You know, when we are 2,000 HETMA members strong, we should be a force to be reckoned with and to be joining up with. So,
We are a force.
we are a force.
Force
Yes.
is with us.
So yeah, there have been little sublines that have been added. Yes, we are a little jealous of Erin and her podcast, because you realize that of all of us that are involved, she's the one that got asked out of all of us. So
Mhm.
it's clearly Erin was doing something right. Exactly. Well, and yeah, Erin, you might as well, since I'm segueing you go ahead. You can plug your podcast on my podcast. So
Yeah. So, and I actually just recorded an episode today. I'm not sure when it'll be posted. Usually it's the first Friday of the month, but we're kind of off kilter a little bit because my Infocom episode was a little late in the month. So, but yeah, you can find EdTech on avnation.tv
That's
as part of
avnation.tv.
the AV Nation family of podcasts.
I thought you were required to say it twice every time you say it. avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.
Hey, if it's kind of like jazz.
Right.
If you do it, but you don't do it, and you don't do it twice, you meant to do it.
So yeah, we're
We're all a little slap happy tonight.
yeah, I don't even know what
So
it is.
tired.
It's Joe started it.
Are you gonna
I
have
was
a
just-
show tonight?
I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what
Don't tell
happens
me
here.
I started. I didn't start.
Ryan,
nothing.
how are you tired? It's like 5.
Yeah, it's only
not even
5:48 there.
Yet.
Did anybody look at the timestamp when I put forth a motion to change the bylaws of HETMA this morning in the thing? That was like 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
We've been hustling today. You know what I'm saying? It's all right.
Oh, you're
We're
right.
good.
You
This
rose-
is a great way to end the day.
Yeah, rise and grind. There you go, Ryan. You did it on a Tuesday, so
I know.
yeah.
I mean, the problem is the bylaw change had to do with Joe not being allowed to be admin on our platforms anymore. But apparently that didn't work because he's over here writing banners and stuff.
Well, is this considered a platform?
I don't know. That's not what it was about.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I hope Tim Albright appreciates our little plug right before we had yet another side quest there.
All plugs are good plugs.
All
That's
plugs are good plugs. Yes, there you go.
All
That's
plugs
your
are
hashtag. That's your hashtag for this week. So I invited Ryan and Erin here tonight because as of July 1st, we've for those of us that are involved with HETMA have moved and have moved our leadership over for the new school fiscal year for our HETMA year, and so. Having said that,
You have a friend.
We have a cameo.
we had a cameo. There you go. And having them now in the leadership roles that Joe and BC filled for many years, and then Erin filled in for BC when BC was ready to step aside. We're now in a position where Joe Way is not at the helm, and
Yay!
but he's still in the captain's quarters, I guess is a way of putting it. He's still on the bridge. He hasn't stepped off the bridge yet, but I don't know why I'm going with all these sailor things, but we're sticking
I'm
with
on
it.
a boat.
Wait,
I'm on a
that could be
boat.
it.
I'm on a boat.
Sloop John.
Stay tuned. Okay, thanks, Joe. All right. So, Erin, you had already. Oh, geez. This is what
Don't.
we're just gonna. So, Erin, you moved from vice chair to full chair, and I'm just gonna try powering through this, and we're gonna see how this
You're
goes.
doing great.
Thanks. And so you've transitioned from vice chair to chair. And how has that changed for you? I mean, has anything really changed aside from, Joe getting in the way of doing things? No, just kidding.
No, it's kind of been hopefully seemingly from the outside it's been a pretty smooth transition. I mean, there's definitely still things that I'm still getting used to, or things that I didn't know that I'm now responsible for. So
Surprise.
it's been a pretty good transition though, I think. And we're just trying to tighten up all the processes that we've started. Like, we have so many awesome initiatives, and now it's time to really just do it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like, we're not going to stop adding new things, because that's just, that wouldn't be the HETMA way. But we're just going to try to focus on doing everything well.
No, that's a good way to put it. I like it, Erin. That's perfect. Yeah. And it's interesting because, like, I'm a chair. I have a chair in HETMA as well. I'm the programs chair. So, like, I hear these things, but I like hearing it like this. Like, I'm facilitating the conversation, but it's more for the other folks that aren't, like, within the HETMA knowledge base, for those who are maybe outside of the higher ed space that listen to this podcast, just so they have a better idea of, like, what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. Ryan, and that's so sweet. Again, you have to go to YouTube to see what's going on here. This is so crazy. It might actually work, because we might drive people to go, God damn it, I have to go see what's going on now. Because, like, Ryan, so and actually
get that
Erin,
5th subscriber.
Wow.
Well, it's a slow process. I have more followers on TikTok than I do on YouTube. So there you go.
There you go.
But Ryan, and like I was going to say, it applies to Erin as well. Y'all you've both risen the ranks very quickly within the organization, and that just speaks to your dedication to HETMA and everything like that. Ryan, how has it been for you? Like, because you basically went from HETMA member to board member to vice chair now. Like, so speak to that a little bit, and what are some of the things you're looking forward to in the next year?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. It's one of the things about a volunteer organization, right? Which is, I think Erin coined the phrase, like, our product is our people. We exist for the people of the organization, but also it gives what people are willing to put into it. And I get a lot of satisfaction out of contributing to what's going on. I mean, I literally think he's trying to distract while I'm talking. We'll never.
I'm not doing a thing.
Let me step back for a second, because I will acknowledge, like, there's a big joke about how, it's been turned over, yada, 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 but Joe's still around. But part of that is, the original founders remain a strong part of the organization. That's on purpose. As emeritus board members, like, the core, the purpose with which it was started and that culture is an important thing to keep. Where now, as we're sort of, moving into this next era of what HETMA is, we have a concentration sort of on, like, the operations and solidifying for the long term the things that have been started. So, when Erin talked to me about being vice chair, and it's one of those jobs that I'm not sure if it's a congratulations or condolences type thing, but, like, if I can help be her enforcer and do things for but in the long run, our goal is to say, HETMA's reached year 5. How are we going to make sure it reaches year 10 and 15 and 20 and beyond? And that's kind of the focus when we talk about doing things right or solidifying operations or some of those things that sound like not fun. I think kind of the point is longevity is sort of what we're looking at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's and I as a Joe and I can both speak to it. It's like as original steering committee members, like that was the goal was that longevity, and to see that the two of you are definitely grabbing a hold of that mantle and taking it forward is encouraging for those of us that have watched our little baby grow. So I think it's like dog years. Like I feel like that's what we're growing at is like yeah, we have our puppy years, year 1, year 2, but now we're like into the teenage and 20s. Now like we're like we're getting to be adults. We got to do adult things now. So
Absolutely.
That's why I
Yeah.
stepped away, because we have to be adults.
Somebody's got to take responsibility.
I don't adult well.
But yeah, I
You do
definitely
it your own
appreciate
way.
the fact that like I came in slightly later. I was not part of the steering committee, but I was able to make an impression on the membership and was able to end up on the inaugural board. And so that it really means a lot to me that people have trusted me with this organization, and I'm only going to return that that trust and love, and put everything I have into making HETMA great and continuing its success and continuing to set it up for that future success, because I definitely don't want to want it to crash and burn under my leadership.
That's all right. Joe will crash and burn his boat as he's out there floating around, so. No, he's all right. He's muted right now, so it's fine. I can.
I'm only going like 2 miles an hour.
I know. I'm just playing
There's
around.
no one on the lake.
Well, yeah,
this is my second or third AV life that I've done from the boat.
Third, I think.
A couple. Yeah,
At least the third.
Yeah. So, yeah, there have been a couple of night cruises that I think one night cruise that you did, and this is I think the earliest. I think this is the earliest you've been, or like the most sunshine you've had on the boat, though.
Yeah, it wasn't the earliest. It's just the time of year.
Yeah, exactly, precisely. So, all right. So, we kind of briefly touched on the upcoming projects, and yeah, I mean, obviously, like I've been talking about the Aurora Scholarship Program, and I'm very pleased to announce that we gave out our first batch of equipment, and that went to the folks at Eastern Mennonite University and Daniel House over there, and Stephen Gibbs. I don't want to leave him out either. So, those fine folks over there they took a batch. They're going to be outfitting some of their classrooms with it. It's going to go a long way to extending the life of those rooms. They're utilizing that. And this is kind of something that we'll clarify a little bit more in the coming months, but it doesn't need to be a full-fledged project you have set up. If you need help designing, if you need help coming up with ideas, like this is something we can help with. Or if it's just a matter of utilizing equipment that you already have in a better way, and you can utilize the touchscreens to get there, then we could do that too. And that's what EMU is doing. They're getting them into the class, some of the rooms, and they're reutilizing a lot of the hardware that they have there, but to bring it up to that next level to then extend the life of the equipment. Because, we all have to deal with that at some point. Like there's those few rooms, whatever, that we can't get to right away. And we just have to kind of, put some duct tape on them and get them back out there, but, get back out there, champ. You got 4 more years to give me until my next refresh cycle. So that's a program that I'm excited to see. And we've got some negotiations going on with some other folks to hopefully expand the program a little bit more. So we'll see what happens with that coming forward. I'll leave it up to either Ryan or Erin to bring up whatever project they want to talk about next. And then I'll leave one specific for Joe, because I know it's the one he's been kind of spearheading, and I know that falls right up his alley, or it's something he likes to tee off on.
There you go. It's right down my fairway.
Fairway. There it goes. That's the one.
Right?
I get there eventually.
Yeah, we have one of the things that is great about HETMA is that we get involved in events for that tie in with other organizations. So, like coming up in a couple of weeks, some HETMA members are going to take part in the AVIT Summit. That will have a panel of higher ed professionals talking about, the kind of the future of higher ed AV. It's sort of, what we're always all interested in talking about, and bringing up the AI, AR, that kind of XR, and so it's going to be another great event. If you are interested, it's avitsummit.com, I believe, and absolutely register, come hang out with us. It'll be it's at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, that's kind of one of our most immediate things, but we definitely have lots of other things that are coming up in conjunction with other events and stuff soon too.
Yes, that's very true. And yeah, and also let's just put it out there. It's a free event for the end users.
Yeah.
So all you have to worry about is whatever train fare or tolls or whatever it takes for you, and parking. Well, actually, I think parking is free. I don't know.
That one I'm not sure about. It's always difficult when parking around arenas, because some have their own, some you have to kind of, they farm out.
Don't you all do like public transportation junk around there in your side of the country?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of that. And it's one of those things, like for me, like I could take the train into New York Penn and then I catch a subway that gets me out to Brooklyn.
But wait a minute here. Wait a minute. How many episodes has it been that Pacific time zone has more people on this show than Eastern time zone?
Quite regularly.
Nancy is going to help tip that
Nancy.
scale.
Yeah. I lost one.
I guess
lost,
I should.
Right, yeah, with James heading over
for 2 years now. I've been short an East Coaster. It's like.
The real question is, how long do you think it would take Joe to drive that boat from Orange County to Brooklyn, New York? And could he get there by the kickoff of the AVIT
This is
Summit?
like the
that would be
Orange County conquistadors going the other direction.
That would be fun. Are there enough waterways to do it?
I mean, I guess
That
you'd
is
have to
not
go
the
down.
question to ask. Are you an American? This is just, you find the way.
Yeah.
Go around.
Panama
South America.
Canal. You need to go all the way through and down. I don't know what it takes to get a permit
Panama
through the canal, but
that's a long ass way around. I mean,
there's no other way I could think of.
I mean with that attitude, you're never going to. If you don't start now, I don't know.
We had a HETMA trip to the Grand Canyon. I go right down the Colorado River. I just got to get up to right. And
but then you're going to end up in the Sea of Cortez on the wrong side of that canal anyway. So
then I go up to Mississippi in my SIPPI, and then I can head up from there.
Lewis and Clark are so disappointed in you right now, Joe.
I know.
I'm just saying.
It looks so. To answer the question about parking for the AVIT Summit, it looks like there might be.
Every listener is wondering about that.
Well, yeah, we left it kind of hanging, and I happen to be on the website, so so it said. I mean, it looks like there's parking available. I don't know if it's free though or not, because the AVIT Summit folks say to talk to the folks at Barclays, and then Barclays says. See what and then Barclays doesn't have the event listed on the website. So,
Tim, does it say anything about boat parking?
It would be hard to park a boat in the middle. He might have to leave it at the Brooklyn Bridge and then go from there. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So,
by the way, if I ever pull a boat up to the Brooklyn Bridge, it's like seriously in my life. That one.
You should get applause for that. Like the fact that you've managed to navigate your way into
Trust
Brooklyn.
Me, if this boat leaves this little lakey lake, It ain't going to the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay? It's going straight down to Costa Rica, and it ain't going anywhere from there. Okay?
Fair enough.
I'm just going to ride the coastline down Mexico and around.
So, all right. Well, that's on August 1st. So, save that one if you're in the New York vicinity. So yeah, that's one of the more close up events, as Erin said. What about well, and we're gonna be doing some more
Bernie,
regional
how you doing, Bernie? Everyone say hi to Bernie.
Hi, Bernie.
I'm on the recording, Bernie.
It's not the weekend though, because we can't.
Bernie,
It's
It's
like,
pretty good
we gotta wait for the weekend at Bernie's.
for Bernie.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
good joke. I
Yeah.
was with you on that one. I had it.
Yeah, I wasn't.
But yeah, we're looking forward to working with our new regional chair and putting together some more awesome roadshow events. And we're aiming for 6 to 7 in this upcoming school year. So it should be fantastic. And we have our first international road show that should be sometime in March in the Toronto metro area. So that'll be very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, watch for good.
Oh my God, I just had a great idea. You ready for this? Okay, so you just said school year, which made me think of something really weird. Because it turns out we do work in higher ed and we are in education. So
That's what they say.
what about if we did like the higher ed awards? That sounds good. But maybe the private, we call it prom. Like we have to have our own prom. Maybe closing night of the virtual conference has to be prom night.
Yeah.
Probably have everyone show up on their on the Zoom call in like
something there.
tuxedos and.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not college. You don't do prom at college.
Well-
That's not.
Well, it was a
Yeah.
semi-formal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there you
go. Well, you know how
We
the
still haven't
White
done
House.
Rush
He just wants a
Week yet.
reason to wear his bow tie.
Rush week.
Oh yeah.
But okay, the main point of the prom is to have the AV people form a band to put on the show.
Oh no,
There
that
you
was
go.
not my end result of prom.
No, but we're grown-ups because this is higher ed. We need to
Yeah.
have the people come together, get the band together.
Get the band
know
back
that-
to you.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner is often referred to as Nerd Prom. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but
I've
that's
never heard
what
it called that. Yeah.
But the Higher Ed AV Awards is very quickly turning into Nerd Prom. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
the dresses and the jackets,
Yep.
the suits, like
I thought it was amazing.
it was
The
awesome.
bouffant.
I was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was yes. I feel like a lot of people stepped it up this year, and that made it all the more fun. So, and Joe and I weren't the only ones that were sparkling that night, so that was
That's
great.
right.
So,
Now it's a thing. Like let's just ask ourselves, like, how do we get a guy to think about, I need to figure out a special outfit for this event through the whole year, like I'm in. Now I got to know, what am I going to have ready to go next year for
Okay.
that? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Wait,
to
did
motivate.
you actually ask? How do you get a guy to think about anything?
That's what. Well,
Yeah.
even particularly an outfit.
You know what? I don't want to be canceled, but everyone listening knows the answer to that.
No, I'm just saying, like, here's like, guy, there's a fancy event. What are you going
Let
to
me
wear?
rephrase
Well,
that. I
the
don't wanna
black
be canceled
suit and
again.
the whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in the closet. It's no big deal. You know
no.
what I'm saying? Now we got to have a plan.
I was gonna say that making it costume friendly. Come as
Mm-hmm.
You are.
I was thinking this.
not as you are,
Yeah.
but come as your favorite character, something
Ooh,
like that.
What are we doing, like cosplay Higher Navy Awards now?
That'd be interesting.
That'd be very
Yeah.
dangerous. Like, you know what? I actually don't want to know what half the people would show up as.
All I'm saying is that Erin and her husband threw the gauntlet down this past
Yes.
year
Yeah.
with a coordinated color, HETMA green, like it was with a custom built headdress, like the whole like.
And by the way,
It's
that is
on
Seamus,
now.
not her husband. That is Shay.
Shame.
Seamus. Let's give
Yeah.
proper kudos.
No. Well, yeah, I'm with you, but you know what I'm saying. Women have been referred
Not
to as
Erin
X,
and
Y,
her
Z.
plus one.
Yeah, but women have been referred to that way a long time. You know what I'm saying? We can give husbands a little while on that front. I've been introduced as Molly's husband a number of times, and it's an honor. I'll take it every time.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, I've definitely gotten that one before too. It's like, oh, this is Kim's husband. It's like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't you forget it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually his idea to coordinate with me when I was like,
Nice.
this is what I'm going to wear. And he was like, oh, well, should I match you? And I was like, yeah. So
Okay, so
Right.
back to the turnover of this organization. What are the top 5 things you're gonna you two as chair and vice chair are gonna accomplish in the next year? Top 5 things. Go.
There you go. There you go. See, this is why I put Joe as a crew member tonight.
right.
So there you go. Top 5. I need like the Letterman drums, you know.
Go ahead, Erin.
Well, I think it's probably somewhat low hanging fruit, but
And do everything
Basically-
Joe did. Oh.
making sure that the Prism Scholarship is funded, which, as long as it's done right, we should be able to do that with an event coming up in September.
That was very slick trying to throw it back to me when I gave you a top 5. So we will come back to that. See, I'm taking over your show, Tim, with the golf tournament.
You're
so we're there,
good.
the HETMA Golf Classic. So okay, number 1, that's a solid number 1. Number 2,
Yeah.
Here, I'll throw a couple things at you. Ready? Here, what are we going to get done in the coming year? 1, 1, 2, 3. Like we want to. There you go. Oh,
See?
good use of an actual
See?
topical banner. Well done.
Exactly.
wait, you actually did it right.
I actually used it right, yes. But I did it too late. It took me too long to make it.
I love that Murphy's just kind of like still over here. Over there.
I gotta fix that. Hold on.
Perfect.
Can I do this in real time? Let's see. if I
No,
can
it's
do this in
fine. I
real
like
time.
having the extra virtual prop. It's
All right, I'll give you a couple things. 1, so there's one thing we're going to continue, and that would be presence at InfoComm, a summit, and other things going on. I know that we just kind of got through that, but it's an important part of what we do, and continuing that partnership and the growth in how HETMA can have a presence on the floor, bring educational opportunities, and be a vital part of the whole AV industry, I think, is key. In our DEI committee, not only have they been running what is the very successful Prism Scholarship Program, not only looking to expand that, but they are looking at expanding how that DEI committee participates both in HETMA and outside HETMA to advance representation and other things in the AV community alongside other organizations that are doing that. And so HETMA can really jump in on that. I think that'll be awesome. We mentioned the road shows, but continuing to solidify on, and here's a good example. I'll throw this out there, right? At last InfoComm, we announced we're going to have road shows, and everybody said who, where, and when, and we're like, Erin's going to do the first one, and we'll take it from there, right? That's how HETMA starts it. But what happens? A bunch of people sign up, we get some good ones going, and then year 2, we can bring that stuff together. So a key part for our road shows and regional events is to get people in higher ed who don't have the funding to get to InfoComm, and they love participating in regional events or on online events like our conference, which is online so that it can be available to everyone, whether they have travel budget or not. Now we can come to them and come into your community and get you connected with people in your area. So we're pumped about that. Picking up communication. We've had a ton of conversations both about how we communicate to the industry, how we communicate to our people, how we communicate on social media, and things like that. And then one of our most successful programs, the Approve program, which has made a huge impact on the industry as a whole, both helping our members know what products have been tested and vetted by their colleagues. Don't give me that, Joe. Look at Joe. Man. Someone has to actually
This
do
is
the
a merited
work now.
status right here.
It is. That is
Emeritus
very emeritus status. But in the
Define
long run,
emeritus status in one Zoom window right here.
That's
like
it.
a big upgrade to approved program coming in terms of how we help the people within HETMA who are doing these evaluations ease that process and make it easier for them and increase the value of it for manufacturers who think they have great stuff for higher ed and they want to get the word out on that to make it great. So none of those things are new ideas. All of those things kind of go back to that theme of stabilizing the great things that are in process into things that can be sustainable and active and things that people can be enthusiastic about for a long time. Now I'll stop talking so Joe can say something smart. Go ahead.
See, and that's like that's not even
Something
all.
smart.
Like Ryan
And that just scratches the surface.
pulled out a bunch of stuff. Yeah, because there's still like all of our education offerings. We're revamping our lunch and learns so that the sponsors get more out of it, so that our members get more out of it. And so we're all, and then not to mention our the HEX micro credentialing program. Like there's just, and making the higher ed summit at Infocom even better. Like there's so many things. It's
And along that line, like if you're listening, whether you're in higher ed or not,
And
if you're-
watching.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
And
true.
watching.
Listening
My
and
39,
watching.
39 subscribers. Just
There you go.
39? All
I got
right,
39.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good, actually.
I'm getting there.
But you know,
All right.
but you actually get a lot more watts than that because embedded. So that's where they're fake numbers. So
Yeah.
you know what? You probably have 40.
Yeah.
Got to give one extra there.
No, but if there's anyone listening who is not a member of HETMA, they should be a member of HETMA, right? You don't have to be a member of higher ed
Okay,
to be
all
a
right,
member.
hold on. I'm gonna challenge you for a second.
Go for it.
I guarantee you, everyone listening is a member of HETMA.
Okay.
There's no random person. It's the same thing. We had this conversation at our board meeting, whenever our board meeting was yesterday. When we support organizations, but we know that everything we support, people already know about it. So as we move forward, and and here I'll be a little self-deprecating because it's so easy to do because I suck. But we had a lot of growth really fast. In 5 years, we went from nothing to a $6 million company, right? It was very fast growth. So our issue, and our vendors tell us this, is communication, where if you put your communication back up on the screen, that was our issue. Our issue is making sure that we bring the added value that we're promising. So how is it your plan to make sure that the follow through happens? Because we know that we were the lightning in the bottle, right? Like we know that we just established ourselves as the higher ed organization for the entire AV industry. There's no question about that, right? We are synonymous with higher ed. But now how do we make sure all these things that we've done, remember we counted how many, 28 or something different initiatives that we have? So what is your plan to make that work now that I left you a mess of stuff to fix?
No, you wouldn't know the answer. The answer to that question is actually really easy, which is we do the same thing that we do at our jobs every day, which is as managers, we care for and take care of the people who do good work on behalf of students and learning at our colleges. And so with people who come into HETMA, they want to, yeah, that's pretty good, who want to volunteer and do that. And we want to make sure that the experience of participating in HETMA, regardless of how you engage with it, is a great experience. And that part of why I go back to the beginning of keeping the culture in which it was founded, part of it is that goes into it, is that it is a volunteer organization. People are there because they want to be there, and we welcome everybody. Like, and I know we say, like, again, if everybody's a member, but it's free and always will be is an important part. Anyone who wants to get involved, is very welcome to get involved. And that kind of even goes back to what Tim said about how quickly could I go to being a member, to being a board member, to being vice chair, is simply because everyone is welcome. There's no gatekeep. There's no place in which you go.
No one else said yes. Oh,
Yeah, well, that's a whole other. But like, it is the sort of place that if you're working on your college campus and you look out it and you go, okay, I like what I do, I like what I'm doing, but there's got to be more out there. Or I have a little more to offer.
who remembers that?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But like, I have other skills. I have things to offer. We're going to give you, like, this is a place to offer them. And our job is to make sure that is felt, that people understand that, they feel rewarded by it, and they feel welcome as part of a group, and continue to produce.
Yeah, I saw something once on like LinkedIn or something where basically, like good leaders, they have to recognize that like if they have people who are looking to them to run an organization or a team or whatnot, but that they're there because they want to be part of it, and that asking them to help you do things isn't necessarily like, shouldn't be seen as we're giving them a chore, we're giving them something to do. Most of the time they're there because they want to do something and they want to help, and so we're in essence, giving them part of the whole, the whole experience, and that it's a good thing and they want that. And so we have to make sure that we're better at, letting people help us, instead of always being like, oh, well, we'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll do it. I'll just do it. And we come up with these great ideas, and we have to let people help us that want to help. And there certainly are a lot of amazing volunteers that are part of HETMA that want to help us. We just have to find something for them to do.
I love that.
And there's plenty of it to do.
Be better at letting people help us. That's awesome. 100%. Like, here's what I love is I talked for like 4 minutes trying to say those words, and Erin's just like, we need to be better at letting people help us. I'm like, that's why she's the chair. That's right. I remember.
Our product is our people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
our product is our people.
I may not be very verbose, but like usually there's something in there, in those little tidbits.
Yeah.
Well,
so wait,
and
let's translate that. You're not very verbose means you just don't bullshit like the rest of us. That's why it takes us 4 minutes.
I know.
Just keep talk. That was like the first rule of like debate club is just keep talking, because the more you talk, people assume you're making a point.
And start talking first. That's the key, right? You'll notice I do a reflexive. Start like I just did just now. Start talking first and keep talking until you figure out a point, and then try and make the point.
But I think you're wrong about
that's a Michael. That's a Michael Scott move. You gotta be careful.
It's a very Michael Scott move.
It's like don't ever say anything that'll get you anywhere except for doing this. And it's like sometimes I don't know what I'm saying, but eventually it works out. It's like
no, you're totally right.
So yeah, but it's these Jersey peeps are dense. The banner's back, but we now I'm off the rails.
I know.
We were saying we were just saying
what happens when you put a bunch of neurodiverse people on a podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about having like maybe just at the point of just asking somebody to be involved. Like, it's like Erin asked Ryan, Joe asked me, 5 years ago, right at 10 years ago. No, it can't be 10 years ago.
It was 5 and 5, 5 years and 5 months.
5 years and 5 months. Oh, okay. I'm like, it wasn't 10 years. I've only been at Rutgers 9. I'm like, it can't be 10. It was.
It was just 2 5s. I totally made up. It was 5 years and 5 months. But I think it was though.
It was roughly around there. It was definitely 2019. Like, and I think it was right. Actually, it was right around October. It was right the ETC conference in Poughkeepsie, I think.
Oh yeah, you were late.
I was a late ad. Yeah. No, that's that. No, there's that too. But but you asked me to be part of the organization, like, and that ask meant something to me. That was like you were engaging me, and I was looking for engagement at that conference. I was looking to get involved, and that's you made the ask, Joe.
But let's give the shout out at that conference. That it was Gina Sansevero who said, "Joe, you need to step out of the little shell. And you need to be out there," because we did our infocoms, throwing everything out, but it hadn't. We need to like get the group, but it was Gina who's like, "Get out there and do this." But we're at a different conference. She's like, "Get out there and do this," and look what happened. There we go.
Because you were there. I was there. Mike Peterson was there. Yeah.
Mike, we found at Mike. We found. I picked him up on the side of the road. Found
I could see Mike with the stick and the little handkerchief
rural
on his
Iowa
shoulder.
somewhere, wandering a back road.
I could see that. But anyway. But like that engagement was what drove me to get involved. And that is something, we as a organization need to identify those folks and ask. It's ask for help. It's like we're all doing this on a volunteer basis. We don't take any stipend or anything for it, and we sometimes need help because we have to still work the jobs that actually pay us to live. So.
And I would say, like, if you are, to Joe's point, okay, if you're not, you're a member, you're somewhere involved. Like, if you are involved and the things we're talking about sound interesting, like, let us know. We will get you plugged in. Like, I don't want to say, but like, if you got some social media savvy, we'll give you the credentials to our account. Probably. You know what I'm saying? But come hop in, the water's warm. The other thing is, if you are listening and you're involved, like, find the next person who wants to be involved and extend them that offer. I reached out to a number of people this week with that exact thing. Like, there's a couple of things here we're working on that I think you'd be really interested in. I'm literally like trying to talk through Joe Sabbath. Every time I start talking, Joe does something. So, okay. But
he was trying to get everyone's attention for the upcoming. I knew he was trying to do, and I even moved us up to make room so no one got blocked. So
I appreciate that. But like, engagement is everyone's job. It's everyone's, role. It's everyone in the organization's role. And whatever level of engagement you're looking for, grasp it. And if you have a level of engagement and you enjoy it and you think other people will, pull them up and pull them in. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good year.
You know what? And that extends even outside of like HETMA. Like, I feel like that's something, like, if you recognize somebody like in your institution, in any club that you might be part of, whatever it might be, if you notice that, if you notice that person needs to be engaged with, do it. It's a bigger piece there.
Ask, like, to the point you made, a direct ask means a ton. You know what I'm saying? A direct ask is an irreplaceable.
All right. So all right. Well, and because we're into the witching hour here. So let's once Joe gets a hold of himself, we do have our we got that totally on camera. So
don't look now.
Don't look now.
Yeah, but, in case you're not watching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not even going to say what happened because you're just going to need to go and see for yourself.
I'm my own girl.
But I was like, nope. That was not appropriate.
We're not even going to go down that road. So we're talking about the Prism. We're talking about the Prism Scholarship, which is one of our bigger pieces, and as part of our organization. And
we might want to have another story in between.
Do we need another story?
Hey, Murphy, how are you doing? Tell us about project management.
I just got back from New Mexico.
Oh yes, that's right.
And I want to get myself together to do a LinkedIn post because I went to Carlsbad Caverns, and it is so beautiful. I had a land in your state, Ryan, in the Phoenix, and then we bopped on over to Albuquerque and Santa Fe. And then we dropped my daughter off to a college summer camp thing to give her a taste of what college she might like. This is a liberal arts fancy college called St. John's. And so she went to a little summer camp week over there, and then we drove around the rest of the state. We did go to Roswell, which was super fun. Aliens, great fun. But I went into Carlsbad Caverns, which was unlike anything I've seen before. It was like an alien. It blew my mind. And it's a freaking cavern, right? It's a cave, but it's enormous. It's enormous. And the reason why I wanted to put it on LinkedIn is because I was impressed with the lights. I kept taking pictures like, how did they run the electricity through this enormous cavern? Who designed this? And how they very carefully, they lit because when we first got in there, I'm like, I can't see anything. How am I supposed to get down in here? And I thought, well, lots of people do. So I'm going to take steps forward and hang onto the rail and trust that I'm not going to fall over. It was tricky because I was worried about the bat poop on the rails, but it didn't seem to be a problem. The bats are a whole other topic, but inside there was a beautiful amount of actual like experience style lighting. And I thought, AVX. I thought, wow, this seems valid to me to go, whoa, who did this? I have no idea. Somebody did. And it was a big deal. And it's a huge, enormous project. And I thought, wow. I even took a picture of like some of the boxes where the electricity was like.
That is such an AV nerd thing to do.
It is.
Like I took pictures of the cavern and the boxes that did.
I'm like, look
with
at
you.
like cable
I would
management.
do the same.
Yeah, and then they did a good job of not having it helped that it was really dark. So this was kind of like a stage. So it was really dark, so you couldn't see. But they ran. I'm like, how did they do this? And they very carefully selected which cavern to get the uplights, and it was really amazing. I was, having a great time. I thought, okay, this deserves a little. And then I'm like, I get to the part where they have the food thing, and I'm like, you have internet, you're taking credit cards. She says, no. I'm like, yes, you do. You have internet. You're taking credit cards. She goes, no, we collect them, and then at the end of the day, we go and do all the processing. I'm like, because I'm like, you have internet. You got to have it go. Because I'm like, they have an elevator. So I'm like, it could have gone down the elevator shaft, but apparently that is not what actually happened. So they're still doing it old school. But I had to ask because
they still have that big machine that like the credit card.
No, they didn't have that kind. I think I don't know. Maybe they have it go into a thumb drive for all I know.
Well, it's interesting though because like nowadays with the way they make credit cards, half of them probably wouldn't work like that.
Right.
Because
No, they wouldn't.
They're
They
all
don't
printed.
get
They're all
the
printed on.
Yeah, they're smooth. They wouldn't do the. I remember
Yeah.
that. Oh, old times. Yeah.
I think with like with Square, you can like store it locally, like on the device, like when you swipe, and then once you hit data or like
Get to the source of the network.
it'll populate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think that was kind of when I did roller derby, our concessions, we had terrible network.
POS. Yeah.
Don't text. Public service.
Public service announcement.
As he texts and
cool.
votes.
Well, that sounds like a really cool trip, Murphy.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we've got like those type of caverns out here on the East Coast too. I haven't been to one of those in like years. Though.
Okay. I was like, what would you use a cavern for? This was I'm like, did people like? I mean, yes, they're storing treasure in it. That seems like a good thing to do. But maybe people would like go into a cavern and like maybe they would store troops in them and then like come out and conquer somebody. I was like, what would you do with a cavern? Or maybe you could go down there and like it's so I had to Google it. I got out when I got to network again. I'm like researching it all. The biggest cavern in the world, because I'm like, how big is this? Is an enormous cavern. It's so big. The biggest cavern in the world is in Kentucky. And there's a whole situation about that. And what happened is they found like there was like this one cavern which was discovered in like 1798 or something like that. So this is like the earliest large cavern. One of the other hugest caverns is underwater in Mexico. And I'm like, well, you can't really use much for that. If it's underwater, what are you going to do? That's a lot of work. But that could be, it looked beautiful. I'm like, well, if I were a person who liked scuba diving and had a source of air, that would be lovely. You do that? Okay.
No, so I've never scubaed in them, but we've been through 2 or 3 of the partially underwater caverns that are down in Mexico in that region. Like, I don't mean to, but like there's a whole region in the Mexican Riviera that the land is mostly an ancient coral reef. So it's full of open pockets and stuff from erosion. So you're like, there's parts where you have to swim under to get to the next cavern and stuff like that.
That's cool.
It is very cool.
Yes.
But you have to like those places where you've got flashlights and headlamps, you have your whole thing, and then you do that thing like everybody turn your lights off, and that like you can't see your hand in front of your face is real. Like there is no light in there. So you're hoping they charge the batteries well.
They
before you went
need
in.
some underwater lighting designers.
They do, but then around there, like part of going in there is going through, because for the people who live there, they're like sacred places. So you can't run electricity and do some of those things.
Mucking
and
up the sacredness.
I know, but it's like a whole other. You feel like you're on an alien world, like you're not on Earth anymore.
Oh, it totally
it's
feels-
so
yes.
strange. Yeah.
And so I was like, what would happen if somewhere else they discovered, like, okay, I'm thinking, what would you do? What would they have done? What would have happened if they had discovered an enormous cave in Germany in 1300? Germany was very full of trying to get, I remember all the castles when we went along a river, drove along a river near, I think it was the Rhine River or another river like that. And every bend of the river was a castle where they shook down any boat that went by. They were like, hey, you need to give us a little cross my palm with silver kind of thing. Every curve on the river, we're like, geez. So all these castles that are like shaken down, like, hey, welcome, come on in, and we're gonna give you pocket cleaning. So I was like, what would they do if they had a cave? How would they handle that? So I was like, what would happen then at that time? What would happen? I thought, well, if they had such a huge cave in ancient Greece, it totally would have been an oracle thing. You'd go down there and get a prophecy, from some freaky, So I was like, what would happen? But it turns out that these enormous caves didn't get discovered till rather late in human history. Because, 1798 still seems, was that 300 some odd years ago? Like, okay, that's not that long ago in human history. But it's one of the oldest huge caves. They just, basically people are like, ooh, that's creepy. I'm not going to go in there. So.
Very cool. I was saying, I was just remembering my my senior high school trip to Italy. It was like the AP kids got to go. I mean, obviously we paid for it and everything, but we went to the island of Capri, and they have a really cool, like, what do they call it? They called it the Blue Grotto, and like
that was one of them. That was the only way to get in with like you had to time the waves right, and also like by rowboat like go in to get into the cave area, and then it opened up and the water was so clear, it was blue, it was beautiful. Yeah. So I have a whole story about that. That's nerdy, but we're fast approaching an hour here, so and Joe's tying up the boat. So yes, clearly we need to be at the end of the podcast. So
you can do you. Do you.
I could do me. Well, I guess we could also say that coming up, we do have the Prism Golf Classic, as we kind of hinted at. There are sponsorship opportunities available, and the registration is now also available from what I So actually, that was just announced today, wasn't it?
Today, HETMAGolfClassic.com. Head there. We have registration is open. This is our opportunity to recognize that the one thing that has done the most good, and we've seen it through the fact of how many people have gone through the program and are now leaders in our organization, is the Prism Scholarship. And so we are hosting now a golf tournament that will be held at PGA West in La Quinta, California, September 9th, with a welcome reception the night before, to help raise funds for that, because it is the key initiative that we have done, and we've seen it just take off. And really, the people who have come through the program have become leaders in this organization and in the AV industry as a total. So we are doing that. We encourage everyone to go to HETMAGolfClassic.com in order to one, register, get your foursomes out there. I encourage everyone to at least get a T sign, help sponsor and promote our scholarship. And we have corporate sponsorships available. We have a few that are coming through. So if you want in, it is first come, first served. So
Don't miss out.
There he goes. HETMAGolfClassic.com.
And it is on PGA West. Where else do you get to play a championship level? All these other, we love all these other golf tournaments, but come on, none of them are at PGA West. All right. This is a championship
play where the
level.
Pros play. You know what I'm saying?
A Pete Dye course, which is a tough course, by the way. So maybe if you're a golfer, maybe you're too afraid to come. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe your golf game isn't up to par. So come prove it's different.
Did you purposely use a golf reference there, or did you just pull a reference out that is a golf reference that we use all of the time anyway?
I kind of just said it naturally.
I know. You see,
Yeah, that's a true
golfception.
Golfception.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
All right. Well, I think Joe scored a hole in one on that pitch there. So,
bada bing, ah.
But well, you know what?
What was that again? Bada bing ba?
What? Bada
Fired. You're fired.
I was trying to help him out. All right, I'll see myself out now.
All right, folks. Well, if you've managed to make it all the way to the end of this episode, if I didn't lose you in the first 5 minutes or maybe a half hour mark, thank you for making it to the end of the episode. Ryan,
he's putting his cape on.
Oh,
he has.
I was going to say, I'm like, where's he going? He put himself
He's
in the
now
corner.
part of the background.
Yeah, he's just trying to blend in. Yeah, bye, Ryan. Well, Erin, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And Joe's disappeared. Yeah, this is the end of the episode.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I love how we definitely nailed the point that HETMA is getting its act together.
Yeah, we're being
now
serious right now.
We are no longer the fraternity party in the back of the room.
We're the fraternity party in the middle of the room.
There you
wait
go.
a minute, wait a minute.
Never mind.
Wait, take it back. We are now the sorority party because Erin is in charge.
Oh, there
We
you
are
go.
no longer the fraternity party. We are now the sorority party.
There's a sorority party.
All right.
Wait, does that mean I get a big sis?
Oh, absolutely.
Or a
And by
little
big sis, you mean
Wait,
someone
no.
we assign to watch over you and make sure you don't get into trouble? Yes. We always assign somebody to do that.
There's probably a lot more truth to that comment than I know.
Let me. I can hide the HETMA Golf Classic now. That can go away for now. All right. So Ryan, thank you. And there it is again. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us tonight as well. I as maybe I'm biased, but I am looking forward to the next year with HETMA. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be grown up a little bit too, but in our typical HETMA format. And just try to keep it together just for 30 more seconds. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And we're gonna see what happens. Get back here! You're not allowed to leave yet. Come back.
Hello.
So, and Murphy, thank you very much.
Thank you, Murphy.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh man, kicked out. And now I'm back.
Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans.
Oh my
Well,
God.
it wouldn't be the AV
Fun.
life without
Fun.
shenanigans. So, Joe, I think. Now, see, but the problem is now I don't know who I'm to blame. Am I supposed to blame Joe? Or am I supposed to blame Ryan? I'm like, I don't know who's messing around.
It could
now,
be
'cause
Erin.
It could be Erin. I don't think. Wait, do you have? You don't have admin rights, do you?
Well,
I don't know on StreamYard if I
She
do.
technically does. Because, oh wait, I'm not doing that. It was me, but now it's not me.
It must
No,
be
it's
Tim.
No, it's I wasn't doing anything. Okay, we're gonna go back. That's the one I like. We're
You know
gonna.
what? Consider it art. It's art.
It's art. Yes, it's
No.
free flowing art.
When the COVID was happening and my kid couldn't go to school, I arranged for I was like, how can I get her to be able to socialize? It was very challenging. So in the summer between 5th and 6th grade, the summer between 5th and 6th grade, I was like, come on, let's try to get a Zoom book club. Like, just talk about something, and they didn't end up talking about the books at all. But the point was just to have a reason to get together. So one of the girls was on the Zoom, and she fooled the whole room that there was a haunted person that had joined the call. It was very clever.
That's pretty cool.
So when Joe said, "It's not me," I'm like, there you go.
It's grandma.
Yeah.
As I say, we haven't had an episode like that in a long time.
Do we need a Ouija board episode?
Do we need to kill grandma or save grandma? But anyway, all right. Well, yeah. So, and Joe, thank you for being Joe. You're you, and I can't. After all these years, I can't expect anything less. So, and I mean that in the good way.
This is my safe zone.
This is your safe space.
Oh, you can find me at Josiah Way on all the socials at josiahway.com. And of course, you can find me at HETMA_org and HiredAV there.
There you go.
Oh, I think I also work for UCLA. I do. I am the executive director of digital spaces at UCLA. You can find me there and all the great things that we're doing.
And you're still hiring too, right?
I'm still hiring.
You're still hiring. There you go.
8 down, 30 to go.
All right. Well, there you go. Plenty of opportunity at UCLA if you're looking for your next career move. So, and there's a ding to tell me we're done. That couldn't have been more perfectly timed. Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you for listening in and for sticking with us for a little bit of a longer episode this week. Thank you to our guests. And as I always say, until our next adventure.